at least 19 years ago. The proportions are a little bit off. This now, it feels a bit more precise. Yeah, oh, have I done that? Hideous. You know, you will improve if you keep going. I love linseed oil. It's leaked all over these drawings. I'm doing something a little bit different in this video. I'm going to be looking back at some of my old sketchbooks and sketch pads and old drawings as far back as I've got. So I've been drawing for as long as I can remember, and some of these sketchbooks go back at least 19 years. So I'm hoping to see that I've hopefully improved in that time. I've not looked at these for, who knows, 10 or 15 years. So let's make a start. The first one I've got is a W.H. Smith sketch pad. So it probably shows you how far ago that was. Yeah, this Mr. Bean. So obviously because it's so long ago, I didn't have the internet to find pictures that I liked that I wanted to copy. So I had to use things that were already in the house. And this Mr. Bean was like a cartoon illustration that I was given from my parents. I think on a trip to London once. So there's a Mr. Bean one and a David Beckham one, which might be in here somewhere. It's not bad. Justin Gatlin, again, it shows you how long ago that was, where he was the fastest man in the world. So this, again, I remember this. This is a game cover. I think it might have been for a PSP, and it wasn't even my game, it was my brother's game. And I think it was called Bulletproof, for anyone who out there might have played that game. But that was the front cover of the games case. That was a front cover of a DVD. So that's from a programme called Only Fools and Horses, a very British comedy from the 1980s through to early 2000s. That's the other one. That's the David Beckham from my wall, the other illustration cartoon of David Beckham. I remember this is obviously when he went to LA Galaxy, which I don't know on the year. I'll find out and put it in this video. But that's obviously when I did this. And I spelt Angelus wrong. Yeah, oh, have I done that? Hideous. In that time, I was obviously using these small sketch pads and also just any sort of paper. There would be so many more dotted around my parents' house, or I'm sure I threw loads away, but right, so next one. This is a slightly bigger sketch pad now, a bit more for artists, you know, as I was getting a bit more into it. And there's also a bigger size, so A4 rather than A5. And I remember vividly doing this first one, which was of Lady Gaga. Obviously when she came onto the scene, it's the start of when I was just using graphite pencils, so black and white. And I remember doing this thinking, that's pretty good, you know. I could, you know, much better than before. I'd say this is really the first time I thought this is good, like, you know, quite good, especially at my age, it was quite good. And this gave me a bit of confidence, I think, to keep going with it, because it's easy enough to give up when things aren't going great, with artwork especially. This is the first time I thought, yeah, this is actually a legitimate drawing. Now this is my uni phase. So when I was 18, I remember being the first year of university. I think I was inspired by Breaking Bad. That was obviously massive at the time, it was huge. And I wanted to do a drawing of Breaking Bad. But these drawings in front of me now, they've all got the same brown marks on them. So that wasn't intentional. Even though now I actually think it's pretty cool, but I had a bottle of linseed oil for oil paints years after this. It's probably about 4 years after this. And I put these drawings away just in a wardrobe or something. And the linseed oil was on top and it fell over and the cap must have not been on properly. It actually leaked all over these drawings. So after doing just graphite pencil drawings for many years, I decided to go for colour pencils. I remember at the time I was thinking about it and then I kept saying no, it's too much work and it'll take too long. But then I decided I really wanted to do it. This was a very important one. Bigger size as well, A3 paper. This was Rita Ora. And I remember choosing this one because there was so much colour. I was very happy with it at the time. It's a bit messy now. Obviously the hair doesn't work, but I genuinely think this was the start of me thinking about like now when I go for colourful backgrounds. The first of 2 Harry Styles. Second Keith Richards, and it was a big improvement. I loved that one. People who I showed loved the shirt, which was great, but I was a bit like, yeah, that's an easy bit. Look at the face. And at that time, I was using a lot of the small white dots on the face, which I grew out of and then added back in a little bit. I think I overkilled it in some of these early ones. And this small A4 one, I don't know why I did A4 again at this point, but this was another sort of step up that I could do more than just okay stuff. One of the plans in my mind was similar to what I'm doing now. I wanted to travel the world, take pictures of people, like normal people, and then draw them. Which I did start, but I just fell out of love with the idea. And that was because of an idea I'd seen from a photographer called Steve McCurry. He'd take amazing photographs, and this man is one of the people he photographed. And I thought, well, I could put these two things together. I can travel and I can, you know, draw the pictures I take. I hadn't travelled at that point, so it was all very new. Again, more Steve McCurry. It's my Steve McCurry era. Now I've got this massive folder. This one I was doing A2 drawings and paintings. And looking back now, it's like, wow, they are big. Because I've only been doing A3 fairly recently for numerous reasons. But again, this is when it really started to change style, adding a lot more thick paint. I was using watercolours, I was using pastels, as well as the regular pencils, but I was still trying to work out the backgrounds. I can tell, and I can see it now. Again, the big waft, because the paper's so big. And again, portraits are good, background's a little bit messy. This was the start of my box era, I sort of call it, where I like putting the masking tape along the bottom and top and sides and spraying around it. This would have been the first time I used spray paint on this Manny Pacquiao. And then this sort of brings us to now. 2024, and after seeing those big drawings, now to these ones, these look tiny, but this now, it feels a bit more precise, I would say. You know, the heads aren't massive like they were before. They're not too small. Maybe on some, they could be marginally bigger. This was sort of the start of this type of drawing. But again, these 2 layers is what I've started doing, and I love doing. It's a lot more hard work because it needs to go wrong and it's got to balance out the other drawings, but that's what I'm doing right now. You know, in a year's time, I might change again. That's one bit of advice I would say, is just keep trying to change what you're doing. Don't stay the same, otherwise it will get stale. And if you don't enjoy it, other people won't enjoy it, and you won't enjoy making art at all. It's weird looking back. It's like a time capsule of one of the things that I've always loved. Just sort of shows you that you've not got to be an instant wonder kid doing your art or anything. You know, you will improve if you keep going, and don't look at it and think, oh, it's terrible, I'm never gonna do that again. I think now with social media, you want instant success, you know, to be good at something straight away because you see so much online. But hopefully for those who are budding artists, or if you want to start to draw, you shouldn't think, oh, well, no, I'm too old now, I can't draw, so I'll never be able to draw. You've just got to start and draw. You've not got to show people if you don't want to. You can just draw and keep an eye on them and just keep going and going and going, and you'll see how you improve. Don't get downhearted if it's going to be not that good, because again, I'm sure there's people out there who've been unbelievable for most of their lives, but it's not normal, you know. Give it a go. What's the worst that can happen? So, thank you very much. I'm going to do another one of these again soon because there's plenty more to see. For those who don't know, I'm doing a lot of travel videos, mixing in my art with each place as I go. So check them out on my channel. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Check out some of my travel videos as well and subscribe to the channel.